long for action in the PVL to start to heat up. As we will witness in today's games, everyone will be scrambling to get ahead. Choco Mucho and Cignal HD both have a lot in their game. Both are undefeated and both are looking to get that twice-to-beat advantage. Now, on the other hand, Cherry Tigo and Army Black Mamba are both fighting for survival. Army Black Mamba has yet to find their leader and their ace. And as for the defending champions, Cherry Tigo, they have yet to get their first win in 4 matches. We call the PVL the heart of Philippine volleyball, and that's because this is where stars are made and continue to shine. Join me as we witness the action here this afternoon at the PVL. Welcome to the PVL, and let's get the ball rolling.
It is game day here at the Paco Sports and Events Center in Manila as we bring you One Sports' exclusive coverage of the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference. What a lineup of games we have for everybody today. We are jam-packed with some great volleyball action. Now, to start things off at 3 p.m., we have the much-anticipated matchup between two teams that are still undefeated here in Pool A. We have the Cignal HD Spikers going up against the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. And later on, ibang storya naman ang mapapanood natin because the Cherry Tigo crossovers will face the Army Black Mamba Lady Troopers at 6 p.m. And both teams have yet to find a win here in our open conference. So you can catch all the action right here on One Sports. Hello everybody, my name is Billy Capistrano and joining me today, ang nagbabalik na si Alfred Valbuena. Alfred, I have not worked with you in the PVL for 4 years.
Yes, definitely. 4 years is quite long na rin, no? It's really exciting to be back in this ambience. Pakonti-konti bumabalik na rin. Hopefully, this is the start of volleyball hanggang sa men's na rin.
Exactly. And you know what, Alfred? Day 6 pa lang ng ating open conference, yet the games are getting more exciting and intense as the days go by. And I'm pretty sure that this game right here will not be an exception. That's why we got to talk about our team standings because, you know, we want to get a clearer picture of what the standings are looking at right now. As we can see, ito ang Pool A and ang ating Pool B. And we also want to give the audience a glimpse of why this game is so important for our two teams.
Yes, as you can see in Pool A here, both teams, wala pa silang talo. Red hot and still undefeated in our open conference. This is one of the most important matches nga for them. Kasi nga sinabi, like kanina sinabi ni Sam, whoever tops in the pool will get that twice to beat advantage coming to quarterfinals. So it's really up to this game, and let's see who will come out undefeated. And if ever man, Billy, share ko na rin yung kuwari mag-triple tie tayo for the first place if ever Choco Mucho loses this game or Cignal loses one game. So we'll go to the point system. So sinong pinakamaraming points after the preliminary round natin, dun magbabase kung sino magta-top and we'll get that twice to beat advantage.
And of course, we are gonna keep explaining, you know, all these things, you guys, as the season progresses. But you know what? It's just a third match for both our teams. And after today, as I've mentioned, we will get a clear picture of what the standings will look like or might look like heading into our quarterfinals. Now, Alfred, let's talk about these two teams even further. Starting things off, of course, with the Cignal HD Spikers. Now, before this tournament even started, a lot of people, they weren't counting them out, but they were kind of predicting that they would be the dark horse of this competition. Well, you know what? They are just absolutely proving all their doubters wrong, especially after the amount of confidence that this team had against a big-name team against F2.
Yes, as we know, the Cignal HD Spikers finished 10th on the last PVL here, only one win on their last conference for the PVL. As we all know, Cignal also made or did a major revamp here this conference. Kitang-kita naman natin sa lineup nila coming into the deep bench they have. And of course, game nila against the F2, it really boiled down to that service aces. Ang lakas ng service dito ng Cignal, really made the role here when it comes to the service aces, lalo na yung mga hard serves dito na nila Takis, and of course, coming from Riri Menezes also.
And of course, we can see Jerry Malabanan. We saw in that fourth set against F2 that si Cez Molina, who is now in the court warming up, she was out of that game because of an ankle sprain. So we have Jerry Malabanan who will fill in her shoes possibly today. We will see. Now, of course, another person, when we talk about confidence, we can't not talk about Ria Meneses and what a game she had against the F2 Logistics Cargo Movers. She really imposed her might doon sa net natin.
She's a beast talaga when it comes to blocking, lalo na net defense when it comes in terms of blocking, and offense in terms of regalo and mga joust, di ba? Doon talaga siya nakaka-score eh. Yung sipag niya sa court, she really played a huge role, a huge key difference here, lalo na sa F2, going into the blocks. And of course, coming from a different team last conference, alam natin, bumabalik siya and she really wants to give the Cignal here that edge again, going back to a podium finish.
Of course, as you can see her stats, great stat line for her, 12 points off 9 blocks. Sorry, 9 spikes rather, 1 block and 2 aces. Now, we'll talk about Jerry Di Malabanan again. Puntahan natin siya ulit, no, Alfred. Sinabi nga natin na itong si Ces Molina, she might not play today. Well, we saw her practicing on the court. But here we have Jerry Di Malabanan, who really showed up in that game as well. Off the bench, 4 points for her. And syempre, she really knows the system of Coach Shaq de los Santos.
Yes, we know on the 4th set last game against F2, di ba, mild ankle sprain lang naman dito si Ria. So let's see, si Ces Molina pala, and we know Jerry Lee Malabanan is one of the key players also in her former team. As you can play any position, open man, mapa-outside man, mapa-utility man, opposite. She can really fill in those shoes, lalo na ready naman siya pagdating sa in terms of attack, defense, and also service. Siya rin malakas rin mag-serve.
Absolutely. So we are so excited to see what Jerry Di Malabanan can bring to the table today for the Cignal HD Spikers. But of course, Alfred, pumunta naman tayo sa kabilang panig. Pag-usapan naman natin ang Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Now, this team is also coming off a hard-fought win against the defending champions, the Cherry Tigo Crossovers. And if everybody remembers, they're actually the team that eliminated them in the semi-finals last year. So you can really say that revenge is sweet. I mean, it was a back-and-forth affair for both our squads, especially in that 5th set. Pero ito nga Choco Mucho Flying Titans, especially with the help of Cato Lentino, they came out victorious.
Definitely. Based on the stats here against the Cherry Tigo, despite having a better attacks here coming from the crossovers, pero bumawi naman sila dito sa blocks in the blocking department. As you can, 15-5 difference of 10 points. And of course, alam natin dito, really yung Choco Mucho Flying Titans are one of the tallest teams here in our league. We have Kat Tolentino, a 6-footer here, as well as Bea De Leon coming off. And Cherry Nunag, di ba? Lalo natin yung setter din nila, not one of the greatest setter, also si Dino Wong. And we know that Choco Mucho really is a young team here. Pero despite being young, the composition of their team, sobrang ganda ng mix ng team nila, coming off from former players from F2 like sila Descheng, really playing her game. And here, Bea De Leon, lalo na nung 5th set, also gave her all there, giving them that advantage, lalo na alam natin nung 5th set. Lumang pa talaga dito yung Cherry Tigo ng 13-11. They were down 11 points yung Flying Titans, pero because of Kat Tolentino's power, aggressiveness when it comes to attack, yun, na-help niya yung team niya to gain back that lead 14-13. And syempre, hindi naman magpapatalo dito si Dindin Santiago Manabat. Talagang scoring, tying the game 14-all. After that, back-to-back errors coming from the Cherry Tigo. Kaya yun, nanalo dito ang Choco Mucho Flying Titans.
Now we keep mentioning this girl on your screens, Kat Tolentino, who was just unstoppable in that game. She exploded with 23 big points off 19 attacks and 4 blocks. And take a look at everything she did in that game. You can see her highlights. And especially in that 5th set, Alfred, nakita nga natin na si Dindin at si Kat parang nagka-battle silang dalawa, nagka-duel sila, nagka-one-on-one.
Yes, Tolentino has been Choco Mucho's ace player since the teams first entered the PVL in 2019. Talagang lahat ng points coming from the offense, she really gives them that edge for the Choco Mucho here. And of course, the key for the Choco Mucho has always been providing their star opposite some support. Again, lalo na yun, di ba? Coming off the bench with 10 points, yun si Ogonzanya also added 10 points while Des and Bea De Leon played the first 2 sets. Pero no 5th set, both contributed 9 markers. And of course, yeah, 23 big points for Kat Tolentino, giving them that 2-0 run now for 2-0 standing for the Choco Mucho.
Now, of course, Kat just didn't do it alone. You mentioned a couple of her teammates like Duque Ogansanya, even Des Cheng and Cherry Nunag. But one player in particular really helped a lot to orchestrate their offense perfectly. And that was none other than Dina Wong. And we got the chance to talk to her a while ago, so let's watch this.
Siguro that was an additional factor nga of what happened last year to be able to win against Cherry Tigo. But ayun, parang every team naman same goal. So siguro yun yung nagiging goal din namin for every team na to win. So with Ate Des and with Ate Cherry, in addition to our team, syempre, it takes also being close to them, not just inside the court, but also outside of the court. Kasi dun yung lalabas yung magiging comfortable nyo sa isa't isa. So with that, magkakaroon ka ng confidence kung anong gusto nila na set, at syempre sa pagsaset nila. So dun din magsastart yung jejel as a team. For me, it's really about composure and teamwork. Kasi nga, given na madami sa amin, bago sa sistema, bago sa pagte-training, di ba? Kailangan talaga on how we work as a team. Kasi syempre, doon din talaga lalabas yung paglalaro namin. So, kailangan lang din ng tiwala sa isa't isa, and syempre tiwala din sa sarili.
There you have it. It's all about confidence and teamwork for the best ranked setter right now in the league, Dina Wong. And of course, it's time to start this game as we turn it over to our tournament announcer for the introduction of our starters.
And now let's meet our national referees for this match. First referee, Rene Gaspilio. Second referee is Lumer Pajarillo. And now let's meet the starters. First, for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Outside spiker from De La Salle University, number 2, Des Cheng. Center from the Ateneo de Manila University, number 3, Tina Wong. Outside spiker also from Ateneo, number 9, Pauline Gaston. Opposite hitter from Ateneo, number 10, Kat Tolentino. Middle blocker from La Salle, number 11, Atuke Ogunsanya. And middle blocker from the Ateneo de Manila University, number 14, team captain, Bea De Leon. Starting libero also from Ateneo, number 13, Denden Lazaro Revilla. Head coach for Choco Mucho is Oliver Almagro. And now the starters for the Cignal HD Spikers. Outside spiker from the Far Eastern University, number 3, team captain, Rachel Ann Dakis. Opposite hitter from the University of the Philippines, number 8, Angeli Araneta. Middle blocker from the National University, number 11, Roslyn Doria. Outside spiker from FEU, number 12, Jerry Malapanan. Middle blocker from the University of Santo Tomas, number 18, Ria Meneses. Center also from FEU, number 22, Jel Cayuna. Starting libero from the University of Perpetual Help, number 13, Jack Dionela. Head coach for Cignal is Shaq De Los Santos. This game is held under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board.
We are back and you're still watching the PVL 2022 Open Conference. Choco Mucho going up against the Cignal HD Spikers. Starters on your screen for Choco Mucho, and the same set of starters that Coach O has been using the past few games. Alfred, we got Cheng, Wong, Gaston, Tolentino, Ogunsanya, De Leon, and of course, their libero, Revilla. And gotta get used to calling her Denden Revilla. And now for the Cignal HD Spikers, dito we can see a couple of changes. We got Dakis Araneta, Doria Malabanan, Meneses Cayuna, and Jack Junela. Now, Jerry Malabanan, that we talked about in our pre-game, she will be stepping up for Ces Molina, who sprained her ankle last game during that fourth set. Here we go, set number 1 underway. Crucial matchup for both our teams, Alfred. And straight away, we are greeted by a point here for Choco Mucho.
Well, Billy, that's not a great sign here for the Cignal. On the first point of this match, first set pa lang, committing an error right away. So let's see how would they bounce back after this. set or serve coming from PVL.
Again, that was a service error on the part of Jel Cayuna. And that sails outside 2 straight points off of errors for Choco Mucho. Not a good start for Cignal.
Definitely not a good start. Maybe it's first set jitters, or yeah, first game jitters here. And
Kasi
also,
siya,
yeah, pressure also. There's also pressure here kasi kailangan, there's this pressure na sino manalo sa game na to, sila yung mag-rank 1 in their pool. And if ever, getting that twice to beat advantage coming in the quarterfinals. So now, 3 straight errors kaagad. Parang hindi yun hindi natin sobrang bihirang makita for the Cignal HD Spikers here, committing 3 unforced errors kaagad.
and again, these two teams are red hot coming into this game. Wala pang talo ang ating dalawang koponan. So by the end of this match, we will declare a winner. Here comes Jeremy Malabanan starting for the first time for Cignal. They give it up to Des Cheng over the blockers. Cayuna back set back to Malabanan. Kat Tolentino.
Smart play there coming from Kat Tolentino, finding the hands of the blocker there with that drop ball. And just like that, Cignal already calls the timeout in this early part of the set and the match pa lang.
Now let's listen in to the timeout called by Cignal.
Kailangan dating yung atake natin. Okay? Tapos timing lang, ha? O, sige, one stop lang. Break lang natin yan, ha? One good receive ulit. Tapos, atake lang tayo ng maganda. Angel, gawa ka ng play.
Let's go!
O, sige, go!
Let's go! Happiness, Cignal!
Sige.
There you have it. Coach Shaq instructing Jel Cayuna to start, get things going, get the offense going here for Cignal. And syempre ang kanilang team captain si Rand, Rachel Antakis, who is looking healthier than ever here in our open conference. Much better showing for her outfit compared to the previous season.
Smart play also here coming from Bea De Leon, really killing one spiker here for the Cignal HD Spikers. As you can see, targeting the straight ball. Yan kay Jeremy Malabanan para option na lang ni Jel Cayuna for the play is she can go up or for the outside hitter or the middle if ever maganda. She's really killing one spiker or one spiker already on the serve.
And that was, we saw a service error on the part of Bea De Leon. And also on your screens a while ago was Ces Molina. She will not be starting today. Jared Malabanan serving. They go to Des. And that is a point for Des Cheng off the block.
And it was also perfectly executed there for the Choco Mucho. As you can see, one blocker only here for Des Cheng. Really hitting it hard to get that point off that block.
They will go to Duque Ogonzanya. Nandoon si Junetta. This time, Gaston from the back row. And it is outside.
Too much power on that hit coming from Pongay. There was a great intention there coming from Tina. Really seeing her attackers already ready for that back row. Great play, great execution. Kaso yun nga lang, medyo napalakas doon ang spike ni Gaston.
Here comes Ria Meneses, who is the reigning best middle blocker of the conference. They give a chance ball, free ball here. They go to Doria. That was Araneta, rather.
Another miss hit here coming from the Cignal HD Spikers. Kita natin dito for the HD Spikers. Wala pa silang score out coming from the attack. Coming from the errors lang here from the Choco Mucho yung point nila halos. So it's not a good sign for them. And hoping na makabounce back agad sila.
Now 6-2 is our score in favor of Cignal. Make that 7-2.
You know, pansin ko dito, Billy, sobrang strategic dito ng Choco Mucho. Really, pagdating pa lang sa service area, talagang pumupuntos na agad sila. As you can see yung strategy nila, going that straight ball, killing one hitter. Like what I said a while ago, killing that open spiker already para mababawasan ng plays dito for the Cignal HD Spikers.
And with that, we will go to our first technical timeout of set number 1. Choco Mucho leads 8-2. Sulit Saya ang inyong panonood kasama ang Sulit TV. Entertainment, sports, news, and information, andito lahat. Mapapanood ang TV5, 1 Sports, 1 PH, at lahat ng free-to-air channels. Siksik na, digital at malino pa sa halagang 780 pesos lang. Tumawag lang sa 0288885555 o maaari rin pumunta sa piling authorized stores nationwide. Mabibili rin sa Shopee at Lazada. Bisitahin ang Sulit TV Facebook page para sa iba pang mga detalye. Kaya ano pang hinihintay nyo? Bilhin na ng Sulit TV powered by TV5. And of course, we will turn it over to Sam Corrales for her first report ever here in the PVL. Go ahead, Sam.
Yes, Jerry Malabanan is expected to shine in today's game, especially since we have yet to see action from Grace Bombita. So I got to speak to the Cignal HD Spikers team PT, and he says we are still waiting for the MII results of Grace and have yet to see her in training. Para naman kay Jerry, Coach Shaq told her not to focus on filling in other people's roles, but to focus on what she can bring to the team. Now it looks like she's locked in, visualize every situation today for her to be ready for anything. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that report, Sam, and welcome to the PVL family. It is so great to have you here. And as she mentioned, Jerry Malabanan has a full trust of her coaching staff, and that's why we are so excited to have her start here today. We know what she's capable of.
Alam na rin natin, Jerry Malabanan coming from Coach Shaq in her FEU days. So alam na rin ni Coach Shaq yung play or yung game ni Jerry Malabanan here. So yung trust niya coming from the bench, kahit filling in the role of Ces Molina, alam natin she can really contribute sa team ng Cignal.
Exactly, and even though, you know, it's big shoes to fill for her, we know that she's up for the challenge. And Cignal here, 3 points down. Billy Capistrano with Alfred Valbuena. Sam Corrales, our segment host. Dina will go to Aduque Ogunsanya. And what a connection they had there.
As you can see, Dina Wong really giving her trust to that middle blocker. Despite having a poor reception, almost going over, pero with her height and might, trusting her middle blocker to really kill that ball, and ayun, nag-execute yung play nila ng maganda.
And it's great to see Aduque, you know, fitting in Alfred with her new team. Sabi ko nga sa kanya kanina, you look good in purple.
Yeah, parang it's a composition of Ateneo Lasal.
Yes.
This first set composition ng Choco Mucho.
Cheng. They will go to Rad. To Bea de Leon, nobody there.
The signature move there coming from Bea de Leon. Really tipping the ball right away. Before pa umangat yung hands ng blockers, kita mo yan. Nice set, walang blocker dun. So talaga nakita niya, center hold, donut hold there. Just dropping it with a power tip here coming from the PVL.
And great court vision by the team captain, Bea de Leon. She did not play a lot during the previous game, but during the end game, down the stretch, of course, Coach O went with his trusted players that he's been with for a couple of years now. As we see, or as we saw rather, service error for Aduque Ogunsanya. As Cignal will call another timeout. 11-5 is our score.
Hindi pa natin nakukuha yung momentum natin eh. Kailangan makuha natin yun, ha? Sige, focus ulit sa receive. Tapos, Shell, nandito yung ano nila. Dito yan.
Ay, sorry.
Oo, ha? That's it. Kung ganun side spin lang, ha? Okay? Pero pag kaya paluin mo na mabilis dito. Shell, tulak mo lang konti. Okay yung set niya, ha? Para matulak sa dulo.
Sige lang, pawi lang.
Sige, go.
1 point at a time. Na-practice natin na. Let's go. Signal! Awesome!
Kuha tayo ng...
another timeout called by Coach Shaq just to stop that momentum from completely going Choco Mucho's way.
Usually, ganyan yung mga coaches, really break the ice or the momentum from your team or yung opponent nila yung momentum to get that momentum and regroup themselves. Because 6 points is a huge lead now here sa first set pa lang. Alam natin, first set is really an important set for any team playing in volleyball. Kasi yun pa lang makukuha mo na yung rhythm nyo, yung momentum nyo. Pero just like that, another hard serve coming from the Choco Mucho here.
That rattled the defense of Cignal. And Bea de Leon, as always, as expected, showing up for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans.
Parang sabihin natin, ilista na natin dito for Bea de Leon. Pag nabigyan siya ng bola, let's expect that she will really make that point. Mapa-aid quick man in front of the setter or back quick yung last play nila with Nidina. Talagang yung connection nila, the setter and that middle blocker.
Bea de Leon 9 points against Charitigo in their previous game as the play continues. And finally, something going here for Cignal via Roslyn Doria.
Great find there coming from Doria. Really just finding that hole on that down the line. Medyo malaki kasi talaga yung space doon if ever stretch the defense here of any team playing volleyball, lalo na pag middle blocker.
12-6 in favor of Choco Mucho. They go to Malabanan, punching it through that block.
And hopefully that would ignite a run here for the Cignal HD Spikers. Getting that point off the block. As we know, Jeremy Malabanan really can attack well for her team. She's also a tall spiker and blocker for them. Ito na ating hinahanap nilang momentum na sinasabi kanina sa block, sa timeout ni Coach Shaq, di ba? Kunin lang natin yung momentum na yun sa atin na to. So ito, 2 straight points here for the Cignal HD Spikers. And it seems like they found the life now and the rhythm. Great block there coming from Roslyn Doria. Talagang tinapatan niya ngayon si BDL.
And of course, Roslyn Doria was the best middle blocker in UAAP Season 81. But don't count Kat Tolentino out just yet, making an appearance.
Of course.
Making her presence felt in our game.
Tallest player here in the court. Kat Tolentino, the opposite hitter here for the Choco Mucho. Kahit mapa frontline, backline, kayang-kaya niyang gumawa.
Bongay. Great save by Janela. They go to BDL one more time.
Really giving the trust again here from Dina Wong. Lalo na alam niyang may blocker na sa harapan. Tinapatan na ni Doria. Sobrang maganda na yung tapat sa blocking doon coming from Doria. Pero with that flick of a wrist and of course finding that hole coming from BDL.
Great communication on the part of Choco Mucho. Even from where we are sitting, we can hear them talking to each other, and that's why things are going good for them.
That's true.
Great blocking though by Charity Malabanan.
We know pag naka-block naman tayo, it's also a score, it's also a point for your team. So yan yung nawala kanina nung early part of the first set here for the Cignal. We know Cignal is really capable of blocking well. Lalo na yan, we have Riri and Jerry Lee already in the front line. So asahan natin, pupunta sila ng pupuntas coming from the block.
As Kat Tolentino hammers it down. She is the reigning best opposite spiker of the league. And of course, we know why, Alfred.
Great set there coming from Dina Wong. And of course, one superb attack, really going above the blockers for that powerful hit from Kat Tolentino.
59, Choco Mucho. Girls in purple still in the lead. They go to Kat Tolentino. They go to Malabanan again. Here comes Des Cheng. Malabanan. Back to Tolentino. Nandoon si Meneses. Got a rally going on here. First rally of the game. They go to Jeremy Malabanan, but That attack was nullified, and it will be a point for Choco Mucho as we go to our second technical timeout of the game. Choco Mucho still leading 16-9. Fully alive, champions for life. Fully alive, champions for life. Abangan ang pagbabalik ng UAAP at panoorin ang Season 84 men's basketball simula March 26 tuwing Tuesday to Thursday and Saturday. Live sa One Sports and sa UAAP Varsity Channel, available on Cignal TV Channel 263 HD and on Cignal Play. Back here in the PVL 2022 Open Conference, Choco Mucho versus Cignal. Choco Mucho in the lead right now, and it is a pretty comfortable lead for the girls in purple. But Jerry Malabanan proving that she deserves that starting position for Coach Shaq de los Santos and the Cignal HD Spikers.
Yes, kanina pa niya talagang intention to go cross-court from her hits after that, before the technical timeout, kasi mas malaki yung blocker na nasa harapan niya si Kat Tolentino. So the down-the-line hit for Jerry Malabanan is already shot down because of Kat Tolentino's arms, pero with that great powerful hit, napa-check off the block coming from PVL.
And don't look now, Alfred, but Cignal, they're trying to catch up here in our first set, and this is just the first set. And just as I say that, as always happens in our coverages, service error for Jel Cayuna. It happens. It's something that a lot of us are trying not to do anymore. At any rate, back to this game. Choco Mucho 17, Cignal at 11. We have Bea De Leon, the team captain. 3 points for her off 3 attacks. She will serve. Cayuna, Malabanan. And Jeremy Malabanan doing great things here for Cignal in our first set of the game.
Great set there coming from Jel Cayuna. Nakita niya, sumunod yung middle blocker sa kanya, going for that opposite set. And that one blocker there coming from Malabanan. And also good intention coming from Jerry na going down the line hit. Kasi alam niya yung defense doon ng Choco Mucho already going cross-court. Pero just like that, smart play coming from Neta. As you know, she really can score also for
absolutely
for the team. Back in her UP days, top scorer siya eh. Si Angelina Araneta.
She is
now coming from her injury, alam natin,
yes,
niya maglaro. 2019, she tore her ACL, did rehab, pandemic. Tapos yun, yung team niya this time. So now finding her new space, her comfort zone again, playing her favorite sport, giving her all. Yun, nakikita naman nakakontribute talaga siya for the Cignal HD Spikers.
And Araneta now ranked 10 in the best Spikers list for our league.
And let's tell them the service errors for both teams. Choco Mucho has 2 service errors, while Cignal has already 3 service errors in the first set pa lang. Pero yun, net touch.
Yes, net touch violation on the part of Cignal. And it's these little errors that they really have to avoid. As you can see here, that is, yes, a clear violation for the HD Spikers. Puntos mapupunta sa Choco Mucho. And we always say this, but every single game is important, especially so now, particularly this game. It is a must-win for both our teams if they want to have that advantage coming into the quarterfinals. You have Dina Wong. She will go to Aduke Ogunsanya right on the money.
despite only this conference, itong team ng Choco Mucho, composition of former F2 and of course the Choco Mucho here. Yun, Lasal, Ateneo ang composition. Pero parang matagal na silang naglalaro eh. In the court, yung gel nila, yung communication, yung chemistry nila as a team, makita mo sobrang fluid yung galaw nila. Communicating well, sigaw sila ng sigaw, wala talagang nag-give up. Walang bumabagsak na bola.
Great effort there by Choco Mucho, especially that save by Pongay Gaston. They could just not finish that. They couldn't finish that play. Choco Mucho now 20, Cignal at 14. Cignal's gotta do something quick here, but another error for the Cignal HD Spikers.
So now they have 4 service errors already, which is huge for a team. Usually dapat mas maganda nga service pa lang kasi first attack minsan kaya mo umatahe ka based on your service eh. So if you're committing errors on your service, on the service line, yun. Another one, back-to-back errors from both teams coming from the service. Now Choco Mucho with 3, Cignal with 4. And Cignal HD Spikers now are going 3 spikers for this rotation.
They need to get their offense going. Talking about the Cignal HD Spikers. In their previous game, they had 31 errors. And for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans, they had 31 as well. So they gotta lessen that number here in this game today. Dina Wong to Aduke, miss it.
Miscommunication there coming from the Flying Titans. The set coming from Dina Wong was too high for Aduke. Really capturing that ball. Pero it was a great intention going for that B. B quick.
It is 16 serving 21. Who will they go to? They go to Pongay Gaston. Been a little silent here in this game. Chance here for Choco Mucho. Back to Pongay. Tries again. That is off the block.
That was great. A veteran move there coming from Pongay. Seeing the blockers already right in front of her. It was a great cover for the Cignal HD Spikers, pero better offense coming from Pongay. Just swiping the ball off the hands of the blocker there, scoring that easy point for the Flying Titans.
It's 22 serving 16. We got Duki, or Aduke Ogunsanya, 3 points, 2 attacks, 1 ace for her. Good read over there by Troncoso.
Yes, as you know, si Troncoso is a beach volleyball player. As you can see on her attack there, she just went off the spin on that attack, finding that do not hold there. Akala nila sobrang ganda ng approach niya, pero on the last second there, usually ganon yung instances, yung mga high IQ player here, seeing the blockers just right in front of you, just going for the drop ball or the off the hit spin for that attack.
As Coach O goes for a timeout, that's isn't it?
Okay, look, masyado tayong nag-iisip na masyado malakas na bola darating sa atin eh. Nag-serve, may middle blocker, nag-serve, assign natin dumipensa yan. Kuhanin mo na yung Ponggay. Pwede ka naman umatake eh. Tsagain natin ha. Kat at saka Des, tsagain natin sa depensa. Des, huwag ka masyadong pumorward. Ulit. Kanina pa din, di ba? Ang tinatarget nila mahaba din kasi parang hindi tayo makakwik. So, anong gagawin natin? Sumot kasi kamayin natin. Pwede naman kamayin ng bola eh. Okay? At huwag mag-hesitate. Pag nasa atin ng bola, nasa atin. Okay? Girls, you have to get it if you want it. Get it. No hesitation.
Tapos.
Go, Titan!
Right!
There you have it, Coach O. Some last-minute instructions for her squad as we take a look at that service ace by Rachel and Dakis. In their previous game against F2, they had 9 service aces. Let's see if they can top that number in this game. By the way, Alfred, it is Troncoso's first game today. We're seeing action for the first time here for the Cignal HD Spikers. And we just want to highlight that.
Coach Shaq really playing his bench now off this Choco Mucho timeout. Then another hole coming from that drop ball for Doria. As you can see, here's a volleyball, hindi naman talaga kailangan super hard hits. It's really positioning of the attack and really looking for that hole on the opponent's court. Because a point is a point. Mapa-block, mapa-attack, mapa-serve. Not too fabulous, still a point.
And Isa Molde contributing now for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Taking a look at that again.
Yes, despite being off the bench, first attack ni Isa Molde pa lang, nakapuntos na kagad. This is a good sign here for the Flying Titans na kahit off the bench, ready sila na mag-contribute and umatake.
Good reaction by Cignal as they go to Jeremy Malabanan. That is an attack error for her. Set point, Choco Mucho.
Off hit there coming from Jeremy. The ball was set too high. So yun, medyo nalula ata siya doon. Kasi minsan talaga kailangan mong makita rin yung position ng ball, yung flight ng ball.
And nobody home there for the Flying Titans. Another good read by the Cignal HD Spikers.
A run here. Let's see how they capitalize in this serve and also sa defense. So they have the tall lineup now. 3 blockers for the Cignal HD Spikers.
Good blocking. Back to Kat. And she finishes this set. It goes to the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. And what better way to end it by that attack from none other. That closing play again.
Jimenez was already there, really covering that hole or that cross court there. Pero sobrang taas pumalo dito ni Kat Tolentino with that power. Ayun, nakapuntos.
25-20. We'll go for a short break. Back here in the PVL 2022 Open Conference, Choco Mucho got set number 1 against the Cignal HD Spikers. Now, Cignal did show flashes of brilliance, Alfred. They were trying to patayan yung squad itong si Choco Mucho. But at the end, and in the end, Choco Mucho Flying Titans too much for the HD Spikers.
The HD Spikers started the game, the set, slow, slacking on their movements, on the rhythm. Hindi nila mahanap yung rhythm nila coming from the service, attacks. Alam natin, they already committed 4 straight errors nung first part pa lang ng set natin. And you know, pagdating sa atake, based on the stats, we have 14 attacks here coming from the Choco Mucho. And of course, only 10 for the Cignal HD Spikers. Opponent errors, doon tayo nagkakatalo, Billy. 10 ang nabigay na errors dito ng Cignal HD Spikers against the 5 only for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. So now, let's see on how would Cignal HD Spikers bounce back. And as you can see, Ces Molina now starting for the second set because they really need that power. They really need that gel in the court. Of course, yung presence si Ces Molina is really a big difference as well. Alam natin, she's also one of the pioneering players here for the Cignal HD Spikers. She can also play her game And yun, as you can see on your screens, meditating yung mga Choco Mucho Flying Titans here.
And it's something that we're so used to seeing, especially the teams of Coach O. You're talking about Ces Molina. She is one of the best scorers in the league right now at number 7. Here we go, set number 2. And that will go to the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Net touch violation on Jen Cayuna.
Again, an error here coming from the Cignal HD Spikers to start the game. As you can see, Ces Molina really playing, showing them that she could, showing the Choco Mucho that she could still play the game despite of having that injury. It's rin the will of the player na gusto mong manalo for your team despite having some injuries or may iniinda ka. Babaliwalay mo yun just for you to help the team. After na lang ng game mo talagang indahin, like masakit pala yung ganito, ma-realize mo na after na, syempre, it's also fulfilling na pag nanalo pa kayo, despite having that injury, you played with it, diba?
And Kat Tolentino starting things off for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Let's take a look at it again.
Going for that attack above the blockers. So now Kat leading the scorers 6 points for the Choco Mucho. And for the Cignal HD Spikers here, Rosindore with 4 and Jerry Lee Malabanan with 4 points apiece.
And chance here for the Flying Titans again. They go to Pongay Gaston. And that is sails outside and they're asking for a check.
That was a great run executed play there coming from Nina Wong, pero yun nga, miss hit coming from Pongay. She was right under the ball, kaya yung flight or trajectory ng ball niya, palabas talaga. Despite having that flick of the wrist, pero pag nasa ilalim ka, talaga yung trajectory ng ball mo, palayo, pataas.
We go back to this game, back set. Chance for Cignal to come up with something. Scrappy plays for both our teams, and that hits the antenna point for Cignal.
They're coming from the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Pero here, napapansin ko for the attack coming from Angeli Araneta, she really goes that drop ball na going zone 5. Yun yung butas talaga dito ng Choco Mucho Flying Titans in zone 5 nila. No defender there. Mapa-atake man ng drop or spike. Talagang butas na butas yun for them.
And that is ball out for Cignal. We are tied now 3 apiece early on here in our second set.
That was a great intention coming from Jel Cayuna there. Pero nga lang too much power on that drop ball.
Bea De Leon, 3 points off 3 attacks. Her team is leading 1 set to none. Cayuna will send it to Rad. Aduque asking for it. She is met at the net. They go to Catolentino. And we go Ces Molina from the back row. Gate dig by Des Cheng. Ball is still alive. Great defense, but Rio Meneses, the best middle blocker of the league, reigning best middle blocker of the league, just putting an exclamation point at the end of that play.
Showing her mind there in terms of attack. Now, kanina puro blocking yung pinatupag niya, pero ngayon pag nabigyan talaga ng bola, asahan mo na rin si Really na kayang-kaya nang pumatay for them. And that's why na bawat patay niya, ngingiti lang siya, pero deep inside, talagang nandun yung willpower, firepower na talaga.
But you know what, Alfred? Pongay Gaston just completely answered back with an attack of her own. And we are tied 4 apiece as we take a look at that.
Yun talaga yung gusto niya pa kanina puntahan na zone ni Pongay coming from her attacks. It was a great set there coming from Dina na talagang dinulo na yung bola para makuha ni Pongay yung down the line hit.
Here comes Dakis challenging the blockers. Just at the net. Chance here. Catolentino. Smart move by Catolentino.
That was quite Parang masyadong nag-relax doon si Dakis sa block. Kaya yung despite having minimal effort coming from Kat Tolentino with her attack, parang going for drop ball lang yun eh. Just going for that cut shot. Pero it went off the block. Medyo nag-relax doon sa blocking. And nauna sa pagtalon dito si Rachel.
1-point lead here for the Flying Titans. They go back to Pongay, really challenging the blockers of the Cignal HD Spikers, getting it through and getting that point for her team.
Redeeming herself here, Pongay Gaston. Alam natin, she committed an error there coming from that hit. And Dina Wong trusting her Spikers here. Talagang kahit 2 blockers right in front of her, she still manages to get that ball over in even scoring that point.
Dina Wong, 33 excellent sets for her in their previous game against Cherry Tigo. And speaking of, and as we mentioned, she is the best ranked setter in the league right now. With great reason. And that is one of the reasons why. Take a look at that.
Pero ngayon nakikita natin na bumababa in terms of reception ang Cignal HD Spikers. Alam natin in their last game against F2, doon sila nakalayo eh. So with the great reception, they can really do a play. Pero ngayon, sobrang lakas ng service ng Choco Mucho kaya sila nahihirapan umatake.
We're gonna go to our first technical timeout. 8-4 in favor of Cignal. But before that, let's take a look at this again. Impeccable blocking by the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. They are in the lead, 8-4. The PVL 2022 Open Conference is available on One Sports and in high definition on One Sports Plus and Cignal TV channel 261. In the meantime, let's turn it over to Sam Corrales for her report.
The Choco Mucho Flying Titans are not going to relax anytime soon, even after taking the first set. Sabi nga ni Coach O, hindi nila iniisip ang pagiging undefeated so far. What he is looking for today is cohesiveness and confidence. And for Kat Tolentino, the biggest lesson she learned in their last match against the defending champs was to be confident by asking for the ball when she sees her teammates struggling. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that report, Sam. And over the years, Alfred, we have just been seeing the confidence of Kat Tolentino grow and grow to what it is right now.
Yeah, she really evolved to a player na maaasahan mo sa loob ng court. Back from her Ateneo days, alam natin, she really had these injuries, not playing seasons or not playing some games because of her injuries. Pero ngayon, healthier as ever, really helping the team now, being the main attacker for the Choco Mucho.
Now back to this game, Choco Mucho with a 2-point lead. Make that a 1-point lead. Miss hit. That is an attack error on the part of Pongay Gaston.
This time she changed her shot here, going for that down the line. Pero masyadong buka yung set dito ni Dina Wong. Kaya that angle there, medyo mahirap yun for an attacker talaga. Pag gusto mo mag-cross court, usually medyo dapat dikit sa net.
And Rachel and Dakis.
She's now really finding her game now. Just like that, back-to-back scores here for Rachel and Dakis. Na alam natin, she can really top in the scoring department here for the Cignal HD Spikers. And nag-iba yung game niya eh. Coming from last year's conference. Ngayon, sobrang ibang-iba yung game niya. At par siya. Seems like the condition of Rad is really at par now. maybe because of the SNC coach sila, di ba? Maganda yung program nila. As in, kitang-kita naman yung galaw niya. Sobrang, di mo masabing, pag tinanong mo yung age niya, hindi yung age niya.
Hindi ka nakikita.
At siguro timeout called by Coach
Ka sa kanya, hindi ka niya nakikita, hindi siya nakakabigay, hindi siya nakakapwesto na maayos para mabigyan ka. Naintindihan? Now, bumlak ka dito. Napunta si Dylan dito. Ba't ka ba magpupumilit pumunta dito? Nablak ka na dito eh. Bumlak ka dito. Dito ka na kumuha ka na dito. Kasi nagkakasiksikan, hindi na nagkaka-option. Nagiging option tuloy dito, 8 lang. Nawala na yung option ng back quick. Hindi na iniwan yung quicker nila para kay Ponggay eh. Kasi dito ka lagi eh. Okay, so go. Receive na tayo ha. Okay.
Hanap lang ng opportunity.
We have Angeli Araneta serving for the Cignal HD Spikers. Former UP Fighting Maroon. Or Lady Fighting Maroon. They go to Ponggay again. She is blocked. Cess Molina from the back row. Parang hindi naman na-sprain si Cess Molina with how she's playing right now. And she is one of the best scorers for Cignal.
Definitely. Yan yung hinahanap nila kanina sa first set. Yung back row attack ni Cess Molina na nawala. Kasi alam natin, they were still gauging her health. Coming from the warm-up pa lang, sinasabi nila sa akin, warm-up pa lang talagang ginigage ng coaching staff ng PT sila if kaya na and able to play siya. Pero yun, nagawa naman niya ng maayos yung role niya, filling in for Jerry Lee Malabanan. Pero despite that, Jerry Lee Malabanan contributed well no first set, scoring 4 points for the Cignal HD Spikers.
Absolutely, and Cignal now, Alfred, they are in the lead 11-8. And you can also see Nunag on the court for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Joust at the net. Chance here, they go to Dakis. Nunag, no go. Kayuna will give it up to Dakis again. Gaston. Again, babalik kay Rachel and Dakis. Balik na naman kay Ponggay. Will this be the time?
Yes. It's a great
And it
rally
will go
there.
to the Cignal HD Spikers, much to the dismay of the
Yeah.
Choco Mucho Flying Titans, Alfred.
According to the second referee, there was a touch off the block there. Smart decision for Rachel Andakis to go down the line, really finding a smaller defender there. Kaya yun, scoring that point.
However, the victory right there because of that attack will be cut short because of that service error. Celebration na naudlot.
For the Choco Mucho, now I can say na nawala yung communication nila. Yung excitement nila nung first set parang bumaba, yung energy level nila bumaba. Kasi usually minsan, alam natin, di ba, first set they were really up. So yung energy nila sobrang taas, sobrang laki kasi talagang dinidikdik nila yung kalaban nila. Pero now, they're down. Dapat maintain pa rin eh. You're already down, you should really get your game going pa rin. Despite being down 4 points now, go pa rin. Play your game, stick to your plan, game plan, your routine, and listen to each and everyone inside the court. Lalo na sa coach mo kasi yung coach mo yung nakaka-determine, nakakita kung ano yung lapses nyo sa loob ng court. Always keep your ears open na lang din. And mga ganong instances here for the Choco Mucho. Kaya ngayon down sila ng 4 points.
You can feel the tension as well, just to add to what Alfred said, you can feel the tension on the side of the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. They go to Cherry Nunag. Kayuna to find Dakis. Great coverage by Revilla. Back to Tolentino. They go to Cess Molina, finding that corner.
It's really the zone 5 here for the Choco Mucho. Yan talaga yung butas nila. Now, nakita na ngayon ng Cignal HD Spikers yung weakness ng Choco Mucho. In terms of attacks, nababasa nila palaging may 2-man na block palagi right in front of the Spikers for the Choco Mucho. Kaya kahit deflect lang yung ball nila, kaya lang umatake.
However, another service error for Cignal HD Spikers, and it's piling up for them here in our second set.
Seems like Coach Oliver gave Dina Wong some tips to change her attacks now and maybe go for that down or backline. Pero just like that, another error here coming from Nunang off that service error.
Uncharacteristic service error by Nunang. She's one of the better servers actually for this Choco Mucho team. Ranked number 5 right now in the league. Back-to-back service errors, and I think that's been, you know, very prominent here. Not just in the second set, Alfred, but also in that first set.
Like both the teams here are really eager to score a point coming from the service, kaya ganun nag-outside. Gusto nila hardball kaagad para mahirapan or ma-disrupt nila yung attack ng opponent nila.
That assess Molina off that block as we go to our second technical timeout. 16-11, Cignal in the lead. Sulit saya ang inyong panonood kasama ang Sulit TV. Entertainment, sport. Papanood ang TV5, One Sports, One PH at lahat ng free-to-air channels. Siksik na, digital at malino pa sa halagang 780 pesos lang. Tumawag lang sa 02-8888-5555 o maaari ring pumunta sa piling authorized stores nationwide. Mabibili rin sa Shopee at Lazada. Bisitahin ang Sulit TV Facebook page para sa iba pang mga detalye. Kaya ano pang hinintay nyo? Bilhin na ng Sulit TV powered by TV5. And we continue with our second set. For those who just tuned in, nakuha nga ng Choco Mucho ang ating first set. Pero palaban itong Cignal HD Spikers now in the lead. 16-11, make that 17-11 again. Ces Molina really does not look like she sprained her ankle in that previous game, Alfred. Doing great things for the HD Spikers.
Yun lang pala yung magpapa-ignite ng run ng Cignal HD Spikers. That one key player in their lineup, in their roster here, Ces Molina. Alam natin talaga she can really make those kinds of plays. Pero kasi usually ganun talaga yung coaches. Pagdating ng first set, tignan niya muna yung papalit. I-gauge niya muna kung magagawa or makakatulong. Pero if not, yun, papalitan niya ulit. Alam niya kaya naman eh. And just like that, time out.
Hindi pa tayo nag-anticipate. Wala na ibang gagawin. Nakala ba natin pagka dumikit side, papaluin lagi. So we are expecting hard ball all the time. We're expecting hard ball all the time. So we have to keep on moving. Anticipate, sigaw. At isa pa, you have to talk to your teammates. Drop! Nag-block, drop! Pag nag-block kayo, long ball! So it will help. We got to help each other. Don't rely on yourself. Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help.
Coach O reminding the girls just to communicate and of course just have that teamwork on the court and not to rely on just themselves. And really work together as a team because that is lacking here in that second set. And we did see that in the first one, but none right here so far in our second set of the game as Jelka Yuna will serve. Good serve from her. They go to Kat Tolentino. Great coverage by Jonella. To Dakis.
That was a great run there. Executed play coming from the Cignal HD Spikers. Sobrang galing ng dig doon. And of course, great decision there coming from Jelka Yuna to set the ball kay Rachel Dakis on that back row attack. Scoring that point, naguluhan yung blockers dito ng Choco Mucho eh. Akala nila pupunta sa middle eh. Was that great reception, pero yun, binigay sa sais. No blockers right in front of her.
And Cignal is fired up here in our second set. We're gonna wait for the call. It will go to the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. They call it a net touch violation.
Yeah, net touch there coming from Meneses.
We have 14 excellent digs for Jonella. Check Jonella on your screens a while ago. As we take a look at that play again, and there is a clear net touch violation.
Coming from her knee there with that landing. So usually mga ganun. Kaya umaangat yung knee mo to maintain your balance. Keep your composure, your balance there.
And again, Cez Molina.
Already has 5 points now coming off the bench for the Cignal HD Spikers, being one of the top scorers. Just like that, parang napaganda pa nga yung ginawa ditong rotation ni Coach Shaq. Yung first set, talagang ginulahan nila yung rotation, nag-iba yung rotation here. Or maybe yung set play ng Choco Mucho, yung pinag-alala nila. Usually may mga pre-game videos yan eh. So maybe they were really going for Cez Molina on the first set. Pero ngayon, Jerry Rivalan started. Tapos now, nag-iba yung play for the Cignal HD Spikers. 5 out of 7 here. Attack ni Cez Molina. 71% on her spiking department for Cez Molina, which is really high.
And Bea De Leon now serving. She started that first set strong, a little silent here in our second set. Cignal now at 20, Choco Mucho at 13. Long way to go for Choco Mucho. Attack error for Angeli Araneta.
She was really opting to go for down the line with that position of her arms. Pero yung body niya nakaharap sa cross court. Kaya medyo mababa na yung hit o yung contact point nun sa bola.
6-point lead now for the Cignal HD Spikers. Here comes Bea again with a serve. They go to Ria Meneses. Cayuna back set. Balik. Dito naman itong Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Blink and you would have missed that play, but Kat Tolentino. Cignal will call a timeout. Let's listen in.
Sila, para ma-stop lang natin, ha? Break muna yung momentum. O, 1, good receive ulit. Gawa ulit tayo ng play. Okay? Ha? Sige. Adjust mo yung atake mo dito. Nandito yung yung Tolentino. O, ipitin mo. Anuhin mo dito, tas dito. Okay, ha? Okay, sige. 1 good pass muna, okay? Tas neta.
Lamang pa tayo. Okay, go.
Ha? Sige, bawi ka sa atake, bawi. Hey, makinig. Lamang tayo dyan, diba? Tinime out ko lang para ma-break yung momentum, ha? Ha?
May konting comedic relief pa na nangyari during that timeout. Care of Coach Shaq de los Santos. Of course, trying to break again that momentum, that run by the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Cignal now up by 5 points, 20 to 15.
And now let's talk about both setters for both teams. We have Wong with 13 excellent sets already. 2 points coming from both attacks. And for the Cignal HD Spikers, we have Jel Cayuna with 16 excellent sets already. 2 points, 2 service ace coming from 2 service aces. Grabe, no? Service ace talaga ginagawa dito. Ang tulong ni Cayuna in terms of attack. But of course, she's really the driver for the team. Really giving her spikers an easy job to spike the ball.
Cignal widens that lead because of that error from Choco Mucho. They go to Nunag. Quick hit from Cherry Nunag.
Too wide there, pero that was a great intention coming from Nunag na nakita niya. Minsan sa mga attackers ng middle, talagang dinatarget mo yung area ng setter eh. Para if ever first ball setter, mapatay na agad yung set.
Chance here. Little Kat Tolentino.
Net touch there coming from Doria.
It's a lot of errors that we're seeing here in our second set. As we take a look at that again. A clear net touch violation on the part of the Cignal HD Spikers, and some substitutions here for Coach O. You'll see Caitlin Viray join her teammates on the court.
So, Coach Oliver going for his 3-man attack or 3-man block here, front line.
We also see Jem Ferrer joining her teammates, veteran setter. Off the bench, it is a service error for Jem.
Still cold off the bench there, going from Jem Ferrer. How would they make this play? Araneta already contributing with 3 points coming from 2 attack and 1 block point.
And another service error, this time for the Cignal HD Spikers. And Alfred, how can you explain all these service errors that we're seeing here in the second set?
Like what I said a while ago, they really, sa service pa lang, siguro they really planned to give their opponent a hard time receiving the ball. Because if you give your opponent a hard time receiving the ball, you would disrupt your play. Mawawalan sila ng play, they could kill the attack, di ba? Mababasa mo yung attack sila. Easier for the blockers to really read the spikers. Kaya ganun yung focus sila ngayon. Palahasan ng serve. Na, sige, bigay mo na lahat. Minsan kasi sinasabi sa amin sa training, mas okay na mag-outside basta di ka nag-relax sa serve mo. Or you give your all when serving.
Now, Cignal at the cusp of winning this second set. And they do exactly that. 25-17 is our score as we end our second set. Take a look at that. Last point. Nandoon si Roslyn Doria for the Cignal HD Spikers. And we are tied 1 set apiece, both for Choco Mucho and Cignal. Cignal 25-17. We'll take a short break. We'll be back after this. Back here in the PVL 2022 Open Conference, you're watching the game between the Cignal HD Spikers and the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Pidi Capistrano with Alfred Balbuena and Sam Corrales as we take a look at what happened in set number 2. And although madaming errors ang ating dalawang komponente, ipanalo naman yun ng Cignal.
Coming from the new first rotation or first lineup, coming from the first set loss for the Cignal HD Spikers. Coach Shaq bringing back Cesc Molina, really contributing on this second set win for the HD Spikers. As you can see, going for that back line attacks, back line, front line, trying to umatake. And also with the gel of the team here, the chemistry, the composure of the Cignal HD Spikers. Kaya yun, nakuha nila yung second set to extend the match here for the Cignal HD Spikers. And for the Choco Mucho naman, yun yung nawala sa kanila. Like, coming from the timeout kanina si Coach Oliver, nawala sa kanila yung communication and yung enjoyment sa court. So now, redemption for the Cignal HD Spikers, going for that 13 attack points against 7. Tapos dito yung service aces, 1 for the Cignal HD and the block twice. 2 coming from Remeneses here. And of course, opponent errors. Match lang sila pero it all boiled down to that attacks. Magandang contribution, magandang distribution coming from Jel Cayuna. Front line, back line, and even finding her middle blockers to get those points.
So Alfred, for both our teams, who needs to step up here in our third set? Well, of course, Cesc Molina definitely stepping up for the Cignal HD Spikers. But what about Choco Mucho? Sino ba ang magiging missing piece nila sa ating third set?
Well, we didn't hear from or felt the presence of Isa Molde on that second set. Alam natin, nung first set really contributed well for the Choco Mucho here. And yung place na ngayon ng Choco Mucho, basado na ng Cignal HD Spikers. Palaging meron 2 blockers right in front of their spikers. That's why they're having a hard time to get the ball over or even executing that point. And of course, sa floor defense, dun din sila nag-collapse. Lalo na sa first ball.
And here we go, set number 3. Great save by Benden Lazaro de Villa. Straight away, they will go into Dakis. Who else but their team captain?
Yes, now in this third set, it's the first point now for Cignal. Alam natin, first 2 sets, Cignal committing those errors, pero now it's their time to score the first point. Coming from that heavy serve from Jel Cayuna. Kaya ayun, nahihirapan talaga dito ang Flying Titans na i-receive ng ball na maayos.
And Bea De Leon, gising na gising dito sa ating set number 3. She was silent in the second set. We missed that coming from her.
Yes. And yung mga attacks from the Choco Mucho nung second set, parang gusto nila matake ng malakas eh. Nung first set, napansin ko, lahat ng attacks sila were just finding the hole, going for the dunk ball off the block. Yun yung nawala sa kanila nung second set, kaya sila nahirapan in terms of attack. Gusto nila mga fabulous spikes, which is really hard. Lalo na't malalaki talaga blockers for the Cignal HD Spikers here.
Cayuna, she will go to Cess Molina. Good coverage by Dina Wong. Sa kabilang side naman, don't go. Here comes Catalantina with a drop ball. Great save by Junella. Rads in the back row. Both teams looking pretty good here in our third set.
Long rally right away. And just like that, Riri Menes is ending that play for the Cignal HD Spikers. As you can see, really going for that powerful, quick attack. Showing her swag after that attack there, coming from Riri. Letting the Choco Mucho feel her presence in the court, her might, na hindi lang ako pang-block, kaya ko rin kumatake.
That's the kind of intensity that you want on the court right now if you're Cignal. Isa Molde.
Yan. Ito yung kailangan ng Choco Mucho eh. To ignite Isa Molde. To get Isa Molde rolling, getting her game. Pero syempre, Kat Tolentino with 9 points already. Yan din wala kanina, si Kat Tolentino.
One of the heavy hitters, of course, for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. The Cayuna will go again to Ria Meneses. They go back to catch. He is blocked off the hands of Dan Ponce.
Ria Meneses reading that ball well. Alam niya na pag talaga kumuha ng first ball yung libero, automatic, ibibigay na agad kay Kat Tolentino yung bola. Kahit mapa-back row siya, automatic going for that number 1 player or go-to player ng Choco Mucho. Just like that.
Another point here for the Cignal HD Spikers. Good start for them.
Back-to-back blocks here. Off the block points coming from the Cignal HD Spikers. Great find there coming from Doria, really reading the set well. So now for the Choco Mucho, they need to really mix their play or play, get the first set plays rolling again. Kasi nung first set, ang dami nilang mga balls na di naasahan ng Cignal na umaatake. Ngayon, basado na eh. So kailangan nilang baguhin.
Just taking a look at the blocks of Cignal right now. 7 for Cignal and just 1 for Choco Mucho.
Let's see. 4 points now for Riri Meneses. 3 coming from attacks and 1 block. And Doria, number 1 blocker for the HD Spikers here.
And now the Choco Mucho Flying Titans asking for a check.
Yeah.
Our first referee calls an outside.
Pero the ball was just right in front of the first referee, kaya kitang-kita naman yan.
They call a timeout. Part of Coach
Again,
O.
Lupi, you have
Flying
to
Titans
zero
of
tempo. Naiset na, wala ka pa. Pangalawa, di na. Tingin din sa spacing. Tingin sa spacing, oh. Anong gagawin? Oh, pumapasok to dito, pumapasok na hindi ka umaalis sa mga tao. Okay? Now, gusto mo bigyan to dito, tulak mo sa dulo para magawa ng paraan. Naintindihan mo, rin ka na maghinap ng iba. Ito na yung nandito eh. Ito yung kinakailangan natin trabahuin. Now, kailangan natin 1 point at a time. You're looking at the end kagad eh. 1 point at a time. You have to move. Kung saan yung comfort zone mo, ask for it.
Okay, let's go! Hey, Titan! Work together, stay together. Take a look at that last play again.
Seems like there was a touch on the fingertips of Angeli Araneta there.
Of course, the call stays and the play continues, the game continues. 6-2 is our score. The Cignal HD Spikers in the lead. Both teams, if you're just watching, they have 1 set apiece, and this is a very crucial match for both our squads. Here comes Cat Tolentino. That will go to the Cignal HD Spikers.
That was a back row violation there, stepping on the line for Cat Tolentino. Pero that was a great fight. Medyo tumapak lang doon sa linya si Cat Tolentino.
So that error nullifies that great attack, that great form by Cat Tolentino. Nina Wong will go to Isa Molde. Cayuna to Rad. Against Adupe Ogunsanya through that block. As we go to our first technical timeout of set number 3, Cignal in the lead, 8-2. Fully Alive, Champions for Life. Abangan ang pagbabalik ng UAAP at panoorin ang Season 84 Men's Basketball simula March 26 tuwing Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday live sa One Sports and sa UAAP Varsity Channel, available on Cignal TV, Channel 263 HD, and on Cignal Play. Meanwhile, let's go to Sam Corrales for her report. Go ahead, Sam.
We saw that burst of energy for Cignal in the second set. And if you're wondering what their mindset is today, it's this. Every day is a championship game. It's all about consistency. Now, as the leader of the team, Rachel Dakis knows she has to be the first one to spark that energy within the team. She's in great shape kasi sabi ng SNC coach nila, nasa maintenance phase na lang sila after training hard in their previous bubbles. Sabi nga ni Coach Shaq, treat this like the finals game 3 at mukha namang high spirits ang Cignal HD Spikers. Let's see if they can keep that up for the rest of the match.
Well, Sam, mukha naman talaga. And right on cue, Angeli Araneta definitely agrees with you on that one. They look good here in the third set. They look fired up, they look energetic, and more importantly, they're communicating on the court as we take a look at that play one more time. Angeli Araneta, what a story for her, Alfred, after, as you mentioned, suffering that injury back in 2019, bouncing back rather, and just being an incredible piece of the Cignal team.
Redemption season or the confidence for her. Gauging herself again despite that injury nga alam natin. It's a major injury coming from that torn ACL here for Angeli Araneta. Pero despite her consistency in rehab, alam natin talagang gusto niyang bumalik, mag-bounce back. And still, parang may goal pa ata siya sa sarili niya.
Absolutely. We just saw Isa Molde serve. She has 2 points right now. Choco Mucho at 3. And Cignal at 11. And they continue to score off of errors as well.
Now for the Choco Mucho, basado talaga nila yung mga quick plays. Yung pasok ng mga middle blockers here sa attack ng Choco Mucho, medyo mabagal eh. yung tempo nila pagdating sa A-Quick, medyo mabagal. Kaya basadong-basado ng spike ng blockers ng Cignal HD Spikers. Just like that, another block coming from Doria. See the replay there. Kita mo yung posisyon nila. Wala na, hindi na masyado gumalaw doon si Jel Cayuna. Really going for that block. Intention na talaga. A blocking ball, nothing else.
Timeout Coach O and his team. Let's listen in.
Nakaka-receive tayo. Now, ayaw natin tiyagay, hindi natin nakikita eh. Gusto natin, pag pinalo natin, patay. Pag hindi namatay, napuprostrate tayo eh. No, tiyagayin natin. Kung hindi namatay, tiyagayin natin ulit sa block, tiyagayin natin depensa. Ano yan, napuprostrate right away. Now, Jem, look. Again, this is the defense. Ganyan na nangyayari. So, ano po pwede natin gawin? Naintindihan? Galaw. Meron pa dito. Hindi tayo pwedeng denumero. And come over. Let's go.
Pag may papalaw sila, cover ako, palo lang. Hey, Titan!
Now, Alfred, in the previous game of the Cignal HD Spikers, they had 5 blocks as a team. Right now, Roslyn Doria, 11 points off 4 attacks and 7 blocks here in their game against the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Great performance from her so far. But also, Choco Mucho Flying Titans, one of their middle blockers, Aduke Obunsanya, doing great things for her team. One of the newest additions to the roster as well with that running attack.
Jem Gutierrez already bringing out that running spike for running attack plays here for her Spikers. Kasi nababasa na talaga sila eh when it comes to middle blockers and of course yung mga outside hitters nila.
And that is way off for Aduke.
Compensated from her attack with an error. So parang wala lang, tabla lang. So coming from the block here, total block for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans, just 1 against 11 from the Cignal HD Spikers. Alam natin, 7 block points coming from Roslyn Doria. Bruin mo, 4 points off the block coming from her teammates. Pero 7 points just herself.
Jem Ferrer serving now as we see Bea De Leon on your screens a while back. Jem Ferrer with the serve. Cayuna will choose to go to Doria, and she is having a game right now, Alfred.
Definitely having her game here. Yan nga sinasabi natin sa mga middle blockers ng Cignal HD Spikers. Hindi lang sa atake, hindi lang sa block ang kaya nilang gawin for their team. Pati pag binigyan mo ng bola sa set, atake, lista mo na, kaya nilang pumalo at mga score makakontribute for their team.
Former Lady Bulldog making her mark in this game as they go to Araneta. Ferrer will go to Tolentino. You can hear the shouts and the screams of the players on the court. They are enjoying this match.
Great find there coming from Kat Tolentino, going that cross-court, sharp cross-court hit over the blockers there. Really targeting that area na defender doon, yung middle blockers. Alam natin, minsan middle blockers. Kaya sila pinapilitan ng libero. Their focus really is going for that block. Kaya nga tawag sila ang middle blocker. So when it comes to the floor defense, medyo slacking sila on that department. Kaya magandang find there coming from Kat Tolentino, targeting that area.
And Chel Cayuna with that 1-2 play, and nobody was expecting that from her.
Yeah, even the middle blockers there from the Choco Mucho nagulat.
Pati tayo dito.
Maganda naman kasi yung bigay sa kanya eh. Akala nila isa-set eh. Pero minsan ganun. Talagang bluffing the blockers for the opponents here.
There's a 9-point lead for the Cignal HD Spikers. Here in our third set, we are live here at the Paco Arena.
And just like that, another block point coming from the HD Spikers. Totaling 12 already for the Cignal HD Spikers.
Take a look at that last play. One more time, the blocking is just great here for the Cignal HD Spikers. That one care of Riri Meneses as we go to our second technical timeout. Cignal still with the lead, 16-6. sulit saya ang inyong panonood kasama ang Sulit TV. Entertainment, sports, news, and information, andito lahat. Mapapanood ang TV5, 1 Sports, 1 PH at lahat ng free-to-air channels. Siksik na, digital at malinaw pa sa halagang 780 pesos lang. Tumawag lang sa 0288885555 o maaari ring pumunta sa piling authorized stores nationwide. Mabibili rin ito sa Shopee at Lazada. Bisitahin ang Sulit TV Facebook page para sa iba pang mga detalye. Kaya ano pang hinihintay nyo? Bili na ng Sulit TV powered by TV5. Now, Alfred, the name of the game here for our third set for Cignal has been just their blocking. And to put things into perspective, Cignal right now has 12 blocks and Choco Mucho just has 1.
Yeah, yun talaga. Blocking department ang pinapakita ng strength. Going to their strengths here for the Cignal HD Spikers. Despite having that bad first set, atake, blocking, di na makuha-kuha, perception, defense. Pero ngayon, pinakita na nila lahat. Coming from that second set there. Pero now, just like that, don't count the young guns of the Choco Mucho. Flying Titans out. Diba? Just like that, 3 straight points na agad. Sabi nila, just don't count us out. Malayo pa yan.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not right now. Sa the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. 9 serving 16 team captain Bea De Leon. They go to Ces Molina.
Going down the line now for Ces Molina. Finding that hole on the block. Great find also, great set coming from Jel Cayuna there. Going to her main scorer to really break the momentum from the opponent.
As we get back to this game, Gem to Aduke.
Yun yung gustong set ni Aduke.
And that sigh of relief from Duki when she made that attack.
Now Gem gelling with the team, finding the comfort zone ng Spikers niya. Yun yung sabi kanina sa timeout, di ba? Sabi ni Coach O, tell your setter kung saan ka komportable. Kasi ikaw naman papalo nun eh. Hindi naman yung setter mo. So go to your main attack, go to your comfort zone attack, make sure to score that point. Yan yung ginagawa nila ngayon. Communication is back. And of course, the trust from the setter is also back.
Back-to-back points from Aduke Ogunsanya. Much to the delight of all our Choco Mucho fans who are watching at home. Catolentino serving. Cayuna. Araneta.
Siyempre, Angeli Araneta here, known for that cross-court hit. With that powerful swing, dun pa lang sa swing niya, makikita mo na. Talagang gusto niya nang patayin yung bola. Sometimes when you attack, it really depends on how you approach eh. Pag sobrang parang lousy yung approach mo, asahan mo na medyo mahina atake. Pero pag full swing ka, yun, malakas talaga.
And Aduke Ogunsanya, once more green. Not really wearing blue, but close enough with purple. Just being that girl for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans right now in the third set.
Screaming her heart out. Oh, kitang-kita mo sarili, talagang sumisigaw after that point. Releasing the stress.
Now a 6-point lead. Great blocking by Aduke. One-handed save by Isa Molde. They go to Kat Valentino. They go to Dakis. Cheng will push it. And it will go to the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. They cut this lead down to 5 points.
Just like that now, Jeremy Malabanan coming in for replacing Rachel Dakis. Kailangan nila ng offense for the Cignal HD Spikers here.
Let's see what Jeremy Malabanan can do. She had a good start in our first set. No go for her. They go to Kat Valentino straight to the net.
Yeah, medyo nang giggle dun. in terms of attack there coming from Catalanino. Knowing they're having this run, she wants to continue on with that run. And her mindset there is to score that point. Minsan kasi pag ganun gigil ka, alam mong kailangan patayin to. Doon pa nagkahamali. And that happened there.
That was very obvious in that play. It's again back to a 6-point lead. But Descheng had other plans. 5 puntos na lang, or 5 puntos na lang rather, ang lead ng Cignal HD Spikers.
Pero ngayon for the Cignal HD Spikers, tignan nila yung mga blockers ng kalaban. As you can see, Jem Ferrer here in the front line for the Choco Mucho. So that can be one of their go-to attacks. Go for that outside hit.
Here comes Jeremy. That is way off, too strong.
Yeah. 4 points na lang ang hinahabol dito ng Choco Mucho. Coming from the 10-point lead kanina. Yan lang yung nag-ignite sa kanila. Sabi ni Coach na kailangan nyo sumigaw.
And that's exactly what Coach wanted. He wanted them to take it point by point. Unti-unti yung score. And that's exactly what we just saw and what we're seeing right now. Adugi Ogonsanya with 8 points off 7 attacks and 1 ace. Ferrer will go to PVL. They go to Cesc Molina. That is again too strong for Cignal.
Just like that here for the Cignal HD Spikers, parang nararatel na sila eh. Kasi narinig nila yung kalaban na sumisigaw. Sobrang saya. So now they're really also rattling, trying to find that point.
Compose ulit tayo, compose lang. Okay? Kailangan muna natin ng good receive, saka isang magandang puntos lang. Yun lang. Kailangan maka-20 muna tayo. Okay? O, medyo bumababa yung focus natin. Angat ulit natin. Ha? Nagingay sila, kailangan tayo rin. Ano natin, hindi pwedeng tayo tatahimik. Lamang tayo, advantage tayo. Ha? Pagkaanin lang natin, pagkaanin lang natin, ha?
Coach Shaq, much needed timeout for him and the HD Spikers, because if you look now, 3 points na lang ang lamang ng Cignal against the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. For those who had just tuned in, both teams have 1 set apiece. This is a very crucial matchup. The winner today, Alfred, will have a better chance at entering the quarterfinals with a twice-to-beat advantage. And of course, sino ba namang ayaw nun?
Siyempre, mas maganda yun. Talagang meron kang edge. They should defeat you twice, diba? Just like that, Doria, the #1 scorer here for the Cignal HD Spikers, getting that powerful, quick attack. Yan yung kailangan ng Cignal HD Spikers here. Yun nga, sabi nga ni Coach, di nila kailangan ma-pressure kasi they're up in this match, in this set against the Choco Mucho. So no pressure for them. So they just need to play, focus again, regroup. Diba?
And Kat Tolentino, the tallest player on the court, the girl who carried her team on her back the previous game, is again making waves here in our third set.
Powerful hit, back row hit there coming from Kat Tolentino. Much needed attack there coming from the Choco Mucho.
And you know what, Alfred? Just like that, it is a 2-point lead for the Cignal HD Spikers. They were down by as much as 10 a while ago. Trim that lead to 2, and Coach Chapter de Santos isn't happy with how things are going.
Definitely not happy there. It seems like his players are now rattling. Kasi 10 points yun eh. At tapos nagugulat sila, ano nangyari? What's happening within the team? Why is this Choco Mucho team starting that run, coming back in this ball game?
Look at that focus of Choco Mucho. Good block. But the ball is still alive. Cayuna. Back to Molina. And that is way off. Too strong. A bunch of attack errors here, ruining the momentum for Cignal. And it is now just a 1-point lead for the HD Spikers. Make way for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans.
So now momentum is really on the side of the Choco Mucho here. Alam natin na pag nasa'yo yung momentum, may edge ka talaga eh. Pero just like that, giving away that momentum again, Jen Ferrer with that service error. End game na tayo dito, Billy. So kailangan, you should play your game now. You should focus well. Minimize your errors. Communicate well.
And that is her second service error here in this game. 21-19, Cignal with the lead. And another error there on the part of Choco Mucho.
So now they're targeting that straight ball to remove that open hit or for that one spiker now. So as you can see, there was a net touch there coming from Jemper trying to save the ball. But the ball was too close to the net.
Chance here for Choco Mucho rather. And that will go to the Choco Mucho Flying Titans.
Off the block, they're coming from Kat Tolentino. Maganda kasi din sa kay Kat. She's really a tall player. Talagang iniibabawan niya yung mga blockers niya.
We're back to a 2-point lead.
3 points here coming from attacks for Descheng. With that serve.
Successfully, that tucks it in. And it's back to a 3-point lead.
It's like that. Full front line here for Coach Shaq. Jel Cayuna should maximize this rotation. There, went to flick of her wrist, a fast play, fast hit there coming from Ces Molina. Kaya yun, medyo nahirapan din yung blocker. Kahit nakatapat na, hindi nakapasok yung blocker's hand. Kaya lumusot.
They go to Araneta. Ferrer pushes it to the other side. They go back to Molina.
One smart move there coming from Ces Molina. A veteran move. Kitang-kita mo yun. She swiped the ball off the blocker's hand to score that point. And of course, great intention there coming from Angeli Araneta. Pero here, as you can see on the replay, no, nakataas na kasi yung kamay ni Kat Tolentino, giving that opportunity for Ces Molina to swipe the ball off her hands.
Set point here for Cignal. And they go to Riri Meneses. And she will end this third set the best way she knows how. Alfred, what a set that was. We gotta give credit also to the Choco Mucho Flying Titans so for really just fighting it out during that whole third set, especially towards the end. But of course, Riri Meneses, best blocker of the league. Our score, 25-20. Cignal with a lead, 2-1. Magbabalik po ang PVL 2022 Open Conference. We're live here at the Paco Arena. This is a game between the Cignal HD Spikers and the Choco Mucho Flying Titans PVL 2022 Open Conference. And what a third set we had, Alfred. At the start of that set, itong Cignal HD Spikers towards the end, nakahabol on Choco Mucho Flying Titans. But it was really some of the errors, unforced errors that just made Cignal win that set.
Yeah, definitely, pero huge factor here or key point I wanna point out for the Cignal Spikers is in their blocking department. Sobrang grabe Ang galing ng mga middle blockers here. Jelka really distributed the ball well, giving an opportunity for her middle blockers to even score a point despite giving them that block attacks, block points. Kaya yun, medyo doon nahirapan ang Choco Mucho Flying Titans to really get the ball over with those block points as you can see on your screens. 7-1. And all half of those blocks coming from Roslyn Doria. Pero attacks, in terms of attacks, lumalaban dito yung Choco Mucho. Let's say, cross out natin yung blocks for the Cignal HD Spikers. Seems like the Choco Mucho would take that set there, coming from that third set. And of course, for the Choco Mucho here, they need to start the game with, like the first set, with a lot of energy. The communication is there. If they really want to extend this match to a fifth and do-or-die set here. Diba? Alam natin, one of the important matches for them. Kasi whoever wins this game, this match, would have the chance or an edge to get that twice-to-beat advantage coming this quarterfinals.
Of course, as we all know, the teams will just meet each other once here in our single round robin in the preliminaries. That's why it's very important, and we keep saying this, every single game counts rather, especially this one right here for Choco Mucho and Cignal as we are about to start our set number 4. Very crucial for Choco Mucho. For those who just tuned in, Cignal is in the lead 2-1. Billy Capistrano with Alfred Valbuena, our segment host as well, Sam Corrales. Welcoming back Alfred to the PVL and welcoming Sam to the community, to the family.
So now for the Choco Mucho, nakita natin nung third set, Jem Ferrer went with those running hits for her middle blockers, which really was effective for them. So now, hopefully, Dina Wong would see that opportunity also to give her middle blockers those kinds of attacks to disrupt the blocking here for the Cignal HD Spikers.
And Cez Molina draws first blood here in our fourth set for Cignal, and she has been playing so well here in this game, Alfred.
Yeah, alam natin, coming off that injury nung last game nila, fourth set, she went down with a mild sprain, ankle sprain there. Good thing daw, sabi ng PT nila, na naka-ano siya naka muscle tape or ankle tape nun. Kaya medyo hindi masyadong severe yung ankle sprain ni Cez Molina.
As we go back to this game, Angeli Araneta against Tolentino. Ball is kept alive. Dina will go to Descheng. Back to Cez. Picked up by Dendek. Chance here. Back to Molina. And that is outside.
Her intention was to let the ball check off the hands of the blockers there. Pero too much power angle on that hit coming from Cez Molina. If ever man tumama yun, that was a great, again, a smart play coming from Cez Molina. Out of that miss, set already, misreception. Pero with that eagerness of her to kill that ball, hoping to kill that ball, yun ang nangyari doon, kaso yun, outside.
They're scrambling for that ball. Dina Wong to Bea de Leon. And then si Jonella. Dakis from the back row, picked up by Tang Ponce. And just, if we had you guys here and you listen to the sound of that block, you know that Riri means business.
Definitely. Alam natin, pag pumasok sa rotation kagad sa frontline si Riri Meneses, sasaha mo, makaka-block siya. Minimum 2 blocks per rotation. So as you can see, Cez Molina on the service line here, playing an outside hitter role for the Cignal HD Spikers, giving the Choco Mucho a hard time defending the ball due to her powerful spikes.
Great attempt at a save by Araneta. Just too much for her. We are at an early deadlock here in our fourth set 2-all. Bea de Leon. She was a finals MVP in UAP season 81. A crowd favorite. she will be serving for the Flying Titans. They go to Rad. Great cross-court by Rachel Andakis.
As you can see, sobrang composed ni Rachel Andakis on that hit. Just going for that cross-court with the flick of the wrist. Wala masyadong power, spin lang eh. You can hear from the contact of her palm with the ball. Alam mo may wrist action agad eh. Kaya ang bilis baba ng bola nun, nahirapan doon yung defenders ng Choco Mucho. And just like that, another point here coming from the Cignal HD Spikers off Riri Menezes service. Ace here. Yan, nakita nila yung laps dito ng Choco Mucho when it comes to reception. On the position there. Medyo nagulat dito si Aduke na papunta yung direction ng ball to her spot. Usually middle blockers shouldn't get those balls, lalo na coming from the the serve. Not unless sumabit sa net, yun yung kailangan mong kunin na bola. Pag sumabit sa net, pag-uusapan nyo ng mga receivers. Pero dun sa kanina, hindi dapat sa kanina yun eh.
Kat Tolentino seeing that donut hole in the defense rather of Cignal, just capitalizing on that one, getting that point for Choco Mucho.
Again, going for that zone 5 attack for Kat Tolentino, knowing that the defender was a middle blocker, and we know she was the PVL best opposite.
Angeli Araneta getting that one for the HD Spikers.
Kat Tolentino was already there. Nakita niya na yung bola na napupunta sa kanya. Kaso, medyo nakapako yung paa niya dun on that defense.
Lead is now at 3 points in favor of Cignal.
Yan ang gusto natin makita ng Choco Mucho here with that running attacks coming from Aduke. Kitang-kita mo, scoring 3 out of 3. Agad ang ginawa dito from that running attack from Agunsanya.
And we have Isa Molde on your screens out of the University of the Philippines. And that sails outside for Isa Molde. Also transferred to Choco Mucho from BLDT.
Choco Mucho has a great composition here. Mixed of the players coming from the PSL and even the UAAP teams. UST, UP, Ateneo, LaSalle.
As we go back to this game, Cignal with a 3-point lead. That is too strong for Cesc Molina. Choco Mucho cuts it, and that's now a 2-point lead.
Yeah, her intention on that spike was to really kill or score that point. Kaso parang gusto niyang hanapin yung kamay ng blockers eh. Kaso too much height on that ball, on that spike, hindi nag-check.
Okay, Ogansanya now. 5 serving 7. This is our 4th set. And failed 1-2 play by Jel Cayuna. Bebe de Leon was right there. She was anticipating that one.
Yeah, great anticipation there. Super blocking also. Anticipation coming from BDL. Knowing that Jel Cayuna could really get that dump ball. Yung mga ganong attacks, di ba? Kaya binantayan niya kaagad ni BDL.
9 points now for Aduke Ogunsanya, who just did that serve for Choco Mucho. They try to chase it. That point will go to Cignal as we go to our first technical timeout of set number 4. The Cignal HD Spikers are in the lead, 8-6. One Sports is available for free on Cignal Play. One Sports Plus is available on Cignal Play Premium for 75 pesos a month. Now let's turn it over to Sam Corrales for her report. Go ahead, Sam.
For Isa Molde, being in Choco Mucho with her former teammates Des Cheng and Jem Ferrer in Hope Christian School is a treat. She shared that she has matured a lot since then and continues to learn from her current teammates every single game. Now, what Isa loves about being with Des on the floor is that she celebrates every point. We're seeing more of Isa in this game. Let's find out if there is nowhere to go but up for Isa and Choco Mucho.
Thank you so much for that report, Sam. As we mentioned, Isa Molde from the University of the Philippines, from Hope Christian High School as well, being joined by her ates, Des Cheng and Jem Ferrer. As we get back to this game, Cignal with a 2-point lead against Choco Mucho. This is our 4th set, and that is a point for Ces Molina.
Great fighter coming from Ces Molina, going for the down-the-line attack. Alam niyang hindi na tumalon dun sa block si Dina Wong, kaya opted to go for the down-the-line hit, scoring that point for them. Usually when it comes to the blocking here, pag nag-commit ka na, kailangan gawin mo na yun eh. Mag-commit ka na talaga eh.
Here comes Cheng. She is blocked. Ball is kept alive as they go back to Ces Molina. Dina goes to Kat from the back row. Goes back to Ces. That is outside.
Too much angle on that hit coming from Ces Molina. Alam natin yung body niya talaga. She was really directing her spike towards that cross-court, deep cross-court. Kasi yun lang. Medyo kulang siya sa, sa height or sa jumping height to get that ball in.
Dang Ponce is back on the court for Denden Lazaro Revilla. We go back to Des Cheng. Joust at the net. And it will go to Cignal.
There was a net touch there coming from one of the blockers for the Choco Mucho Titans.
They obviously do not agree with that call.
Yeah, let's see the replay.
Let's take a look at what really happened.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a clear net touch violation. Good call by the ref.
Definitely. Andun na yung second referee. Talagang kitang-kita na ng referee nila yung kamay ni BDL really scraping or brushing off the net there, coming up that block.
And the team captain having a word with our first referee. But it was clear in the replay that there was a net touch violation.
Yeah.
But of course, in big games like this, Alfred, you know that you're a player yourself. Talagang emotions sometimes can get the best of us. We can really see from that angle, but it is one of the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. However, they completely made up for that one.
Yeah, redemption there coming from Catalentino. Minsan kasi alam mo yun, as a player, talagang emotions eh. It was really from the hands of Catalentino on the replay there. So yeah.
Now that we have that out of the way, we continue with this game. Cignal with a 2-point lead, 10-8. Here comes Araneta. 3 blockers there. Molina straight to the net.
So now the momentum is on the side of the Choco Mucho Flying Titans here. Des Cheng still serving, hoping to tie this ball game 10 apiece.
Of course, Des Cheng, former best server in the UAAP. She has 3 points off 3 attacks in this game.
And a service ace. Everyone was expecting the ball.
I was holding my breath thinking that it would be an error, but Des Cheng.
Yeah. At the last second there, the ball went down. Great float serve there coming from Des Cheng. Just scraping or hitting the line there. Great eye also coming from the linesman there.
It is now 10-10 for all our teams, but Ces Molina makes it a 1-point lead, a 1-point game again.
Now just mention the top scorers for both teams. For the Choco Mucho, we have Catalentino with 17 points already, 16 coming from attacks, 1 block. Next to her, we have Aduke with 10 points, 8 attacks and 2 service aces, and Bea de Leon with 5 points, 4 attacks, 1 service ace. And for the Cignal HD Spikers, we have Rosendoria, 13 points, 7 attack points. Grabe, no?
Take a
Another
look at
blocking,
this, Alfred. Grabe itong si Rachel Andakis. We keep talking about her and her performance here in this open conference compared to last year.
Oh, another one there.
Another great serve.
Yeah. So now, bumawi naman dito ang Cignal HD Spikers with that almost outside serve pero catching the line there.
Okay, listen now. Again, meron mga pagkakataon na we've got to take the opportunity. Okay, now, hindi ko iaalisin yung umatake ng malakas. Just be confident na pag mag-a-atake ng malakas, kailangan natin come-over. Okay? Pangalawa, girls, we have to trust each other here. Kagaya yung kanina. Kay Bea na yun. Bitawan mo na kay Bea yung overball. We've got to trust each other here. Yun ang technique. Naintindihan? Isa, tingnan mo yung bola muna. Bitin ba o nando? Tingnan mo muna. Hindi mo punta ka na punta doon. Nandito lang pala yung bola. Okay? Let's go. Let's go.
Coach O giving some instructions to the girls in purple as we take a look at that serve. What an excellent serve by Ces Molina. Right on the money for her. She has 13 points in this game so far. 13 serving 10. They go to Kat Tolentino. Great coverage by Jelka Yuna. To Bea De Leon. Great dig by Jonella. Angeli Araneta. They go to Molde. Back to Rachel Andakis. Good rally we have going on here. They go to Araneta. And Angeli Araneta against Isa Molde as well.
That was a great fake also coming from Jelka Yuna. Positioning her hands just right in front of her. Akala nila bibigay sa open pero on the last second they're setting towards the opposite side of her attack. Scoring that point for Angeli Araneta. And now Pongay Gaston is back. And let's see, shuffling the players again to find that spark.
And Coach O is known for doing that. He likes to play around with his rotation off the bench. Pongay Gaston gets him to go.
That was a great substitution there coming from Coach O. Really trusting his players. Pongay Gaston scoring that cut shot. And of course, Dina Wong with the trust there. Yun yung sasabi kanina of the timeout coming from Coach O. You need to trust each other here. Kailangan mag-trust kayo, mapa-block, mapa-atake, mapa-reserve, mapa-receive. Kailangan pagkatiwalaan yung mga teammates mo. Kasi kayo naglalaro sa loob, kung di mo pagkakatiwalaan yung isa, talagang mahihirapan kayo.
And unfortunately, on that play, nakulangan lang ng konti dito sa Choco Mucho Flying Titans. It is back to a 4-point lead for Cignal. This is our 4th set. 2 sets to 1 with Cignal in the lead. We got the Riri Meneses, 9 points off 4 attacks, 3 blocks, and 2 aces for the decorated middle blocker. Pongay. Chance here for Choco Mucho. Dina Wong will give it to Kat Tolentino for the drop. No go. Duque Ogonsanyo quick to react. Quick to react rin si Ces Molina. And that point will go to the Cignal HD Spikers.
Catching the line there coming from Doria. It was almost a missed hit coming from Rosendoria there, pero nagawan pa rin niya ng paraan. What a great coverage here coming from Jel. As you can see her jump, pero with the flick of her wrist, catching the line there.
As we go for a quick break, Cignal still in the lead, 16-11. The PVL 2022 Open Conference is also available on Smart Giga Play. Live here at the Paco Arena, Benny Capistrano with Alfred Valbuena and Sam Corrales. This is the PVL 2022 Open Conference. Cignal HD Spikers up against the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Great pancake save by Cayuna. They go to Katrina Tolentino. No go. Play continues. Back to Cat safe spot, challenging the blockers. They go to Araneta. And that experience by Angeli Araneta against the much younger Duque Ogunsanya and Bongay Gaston.
That was a great rally there coming from both teams. But I wanna go back to the play there kanina kay Ogunsanya. That was supposed to be a great hit already, pero medyo mababa yun, yung set ni Ginawong. Kaya nagpa-drop bola lang doon si Ogunsanya. Of course, Araneta really wants to finish the game already, scoring those points.
And everything at this point, Alfred, in our fourth set, going right for Cignal, causes Coach O to call a timeout.
Hindi mo kinakailangan sobrang deep. Deep, paluin nyo ng malakas. Girls, look, you're getting out of your comfort zone eh. Kasi gusto nyo, ayaw nyo mahipo yung bola nyo. Ayaw nyo madepensahan yung bola nyo. So nangyayari, naiinip kayo. Eh ano kung madepensahan? Pero huwag kayo magbigay ng magaang na bola. You're just giving up the point. Kailangan pahirapan nyo rin yung kalaban pag nasa atin ng opportunity. There are many opportunities, pero kailangan pahirapan din natin yung kalaban. You understand? Girls, nakaka-receive tayo, believe me. Kailangan lang yung quicker, kailangan lang yung wings natin. Labain!
Keep fighting, keep fighting. Hey, Titan!
Coach O talking about opportunities here in the fourth set, and they cannot miss those opportunities given to them. At kailangan daw pahirapan itong Cignal HD Spikers. As we have Ria Meneses on your screens, 9 points off 4 attacks, 3 blocks, 2 aces. Her team is up right now, 18-11. They go to Kat Tolentino off the hands of Ces Molina.
They need to find their rhythm here for the Flying Titans. Kanina, they were down 10 big points, trimming the lead to 1 point only. So now, only down 8 points. Asahan natin, kaya nila mag-bounce back. And here, going for the 3 front line attackers, blockers for Coach Oliver, hoping that this would make a run for them to stop the defense or the offense also for the Cignal HD Spikers.
Jen Ferrer, 5 excellent sets. Off the bench, she will serve for the Flying Titans.
They need this service here. One good serve. But of course,
take a look at Roslyn Doria Alfred. She has just been incredible in this whole game.
Superb blocking, wonderful attacks coming from Roslyn Doria. Really giving her might here, showing her team that I am capable of being one of the best attackers also, diba? Don't count me out. If I can give you in solid blockings, I can also do attacks for you guys.
Of course, answering back, Cherry Nunag, pero buhay pa rin ang bola, and they send it over to the girls in purple. Back to Nunag, single block by Doria.
And another block point tallied for Roslyn Doria.
And right now, she has 16 points.
And 8 blocks already. Grabe, Billy. 8 points out of that block. Focused Roslyn Doria here for them.
Score right now is 21-12. That was too strong for Cherry Nunag.
Yep.
4 points away from getting this win. They might remain undefeated. We never know. You know, anything can happen in volleyball. But it looks like it might just go Cignal's way.
It seems like it's already going towards the Cignal HD Spikers side now. Just like that, only 3 points left for them to get or to clinch this game and hoping to get that twice to beat advantage after this preliminary round here for us.
And some rotation changes again by Coach O. You see Cherry Nunag on your screens. We got Dina Wong as well. Score right now is 22-12. Unfortunately, that is a service error on the part of Angeli Araneta.
She was too much excitement there coming from Araneta. She really wants to end this game with that serve, pero yun, error.
Pongay Gaston will now serve 13, serving 22. They go to Dakis. That is no go for her.
Yeah, just like that. 2 points now tallied for the Choco Mucho. 1 point at a time. Yan kasi sabi natin, hindi pa tapos ang laban. 3 points more for the Cignal HD Spikers. So they still have a lot of sweat and of course effort to put out here for the Choco Mucho.
We haven't seen a lot of those 1-2 plays from Jelka Yuna. Some she doesn't quite execute, but then there are plays like this.
Unexpected plays here, drop balls coming from Jelka Yuna, which is nice for a setter, diba? To disrupt the defense of the opponent here. Akala mo set mo pero drop mo ng biglaan. Talagang mahihirapan dito yung defense or coverage ng opponent.
Kayuna will go back to Molina. With the hands of Des Cheng.
Pero pansin ko yun yung gusto niyang puntahan talaga ni Ces Molina sa atake when coming from that angle. And of course now, just like that, 1 point left for match point here for the Cignal HD Spikers.
Kaya naman ang saya-saya ni Coach Shaq de Los Santos.
Pero kanina nung first set, parang nag-rattle sila no? Because the body language from his players was not that good, was bad. 4 errors, unforced errors kaagad coming from the first set, diba? Pero ngayon, tiwala naman siya sa mga players na alam niyang kaya nila mag-bounce back. And a match point saved here for the Choco Mucho.
Kayuna again. This time nandoon si Cherry Nunag. They go to Kat Tolentino. That is in.
Jelka Yuna hoping to end the match with a drop ball again. Yeah.
You gotta credit Jelka Yuna as well. Great ball distribution here in this game.
And also matapang as a center.
And especially activating Roslyn Doria. Great coverage there by Janela. Kayuna chases it. Sets up Dakis. Dina Wong will go to Des Cheng, challenging the blockers of Cignal. Dina to De Leon. Pinahabol ni Kayuna. Ball is still alive.
Oh, a long rally here, Billy, to finish the match. No? Masyado pa mahaba. Just like that, powerful hit coming from Roslyn Doria. She really wanted to end that set kaagad, the match with a powerful, quick play. Great set there coming from Jelka Yuna. And I commend also the Choco Mucho Flying Titans here for giving their all in this match, showing what they are capable of, not giving up despite being down, di ba? Talagang ginagawa nila lahat ng makakaya nila para maangat yung spirit sila in the team. And of course now we have Cignal on the edge of getting that twice to beat advantage.
Final score here in set number 4, 25-16 in favor of the Cignal HD Spikers. They win it in 4 sets. Magbabalik po ang PVL 2022 Open Conference.